Okay, so we are going to start looking now at terminology used and the kind of theme that it might convey or get across. And to do that, we're going to start by looking at war correspondence. So we're looking at non-fiction texts now. This first example that we're going to work through together, before you go on to dissect the two other examples, is from a set of diaries by a woman called Nella Last. And as you will see here, this short explanation here, this isn't the actual diary, by the way, this bit here. It's a short explanation of the diaries themselves. It sort of sets the scene a bit so we know more what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through at some of the imagery that Nella uses in her diary. And from that, we're going to unpick what she might feel or think about the war in general and her place within it. So, just to start us off, we've got here, shadow falls over me somehow. So that's quite an interesting piece of imagery there. It's a metaphor, because obviously we're assuming here that it's, a shadow didn't actually fall over her. We're sort of thinking about a metaphorical shadow here. So, what I would like you to do now is pause the video, read on for the next couple of sentences, and just think about what that metaphor might mean. What feeling might she be getting across here with that? A shadow falls over me somehow. Okay, so we've got a shadow falls over me somehow, and she then goes on to say, maybe the weather, maybe the thoughts of this dreadful invasion of Europe starting. I often think it will indeed be a new world after the war. So we've got this sort of almost a sense of impending dread or impending doom. I mean, she's saying maybe the weather, but I think it's fairly clear to us as readers that the weather is kind of inconsequential here. The big thing is that it's the British Army and the various armies from the Allies gearing up to invade Europe, and that would be around about D-Day. She then goes on to talk about all and everyone seem hell-bent on destroying everything in the old one. So we've got quite a nice little contrast here that she's drawing out here. She's saying, I often think that there will indeed be a new world after the war. So she's talking about this potential new world. And then she's talking about how everyone just seems hell-bent on destroying everything in the old one. So almost a sort of destruction. Sometimes I sit quiet as a chaotic montage whirls through my tired head. The civilization we boast about so much and where it has led us. So what I'd like you to do now is, again, look at this short extract here, where she's using imagery, sort of talking about things like chaotic montage, using quite powerful words here. The fact that we've got civilization in quotation marks might indicate she doesn't actually think we're very civilized at all. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about what Nella Last's thoughts on civilization, her world, and the war might be based on that. So pause the video now, jot down some ideas, and we'll rejoin in a second. Okay, so yes, once again, it seems here that she is not happy with the war. She does not like it. She thinks it's an incredibly destructive force, and she is genuinely worried for the future because so much horror is going on around her. And this goes on, she then goes on to talk about fabulous riches found to train men to destroy each other, to equip them with more and more death-dealing weapons, when such a fraction of the thought engine money could have done so much good. So again, we've got another quite nice contrast here. She's almost writing in contrasts, really, isn't she? She's talking about the fabulous riches found to train men to destroy each other, and then she's talking about how much good that money could have done, all those resources could have done. So again, that's quite an interesting picture she's painting here of almost a loss of these riches. The world is coming to an end indeed. If all the bad, cruel Nazis and the wicked Japs were being wiped out, we could think for a better all, but it seems so many of the flower of all races are going. So, again, just pause this a bit and just, what do you think she means by this highlighted section here? Okay, so we've unpaused it, and again we're getting this theme here that she's very much not happy with it. She doesn't see this war leading anywhere good. She's saying that you know, if the Nazi regime and the Japanese Empire, who were the main opponents in World War II, were destroyed, then yes, that could be considered better, because obviously these are pretty horrific regimes. However, she's also saying that it seems like everyone's throwing away their lives here. You know, there are so many, mostly young men, but of course women as well, involved in the production of weapons, involved in killing each other, that she can't really see how this is going to end up well. Okay, moving on here. What I would like you to do is, from this point here, I would like you, from this section here that I'm highlighting, to the end. So where we've just left off, basically, to the end. Bear with me a second. I would like you to pick out as much terminology here as you can, and just make some notes on it. And this will help you later on.